Good Sunday morning, everybody. You know, last week was Easter. We had a rough week, everybody around the Cleveland area did because of the storms and stuff like that. And you know, it's a rough week when you don't get to come and see your church family. So here we are, and I want you to know I've been missing you as always, and I'm looking forward to next week. That's a little as far as I'm going to go on that one right there right now. But I am looking forward to next week. Wink, wink. Got it? All right, let's start out in prayer. Most gracious Heavenly Father, Lord, I thank you for each and every person that's listening. I ask you to take and use me, Lord. Use me as a vessel for your word to come through. Lord, I ask you to take and bless each and every person out there that's listening to the sound of my voice and somehow direct these words to be used for your glory. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. You know, old-time religion. You know, something that I was thinking about, and I've had on my mind for a while, is generations. If anybody knows anything about me, you know I love history. I love history because you learn from the past. You know, some people look at the Bible as simply a religious book. I look at it as a history book. Why? Because we learn from the past. We learn from things that's happened. We learn from the Bible. I hope we do, at least. We should. You know, and today, I'm gonna be real short to the point on some of this stuff. And we're going to be in Psalms chapter 45. And it's going to be just a little section right there I'm going to read. But generations is something very important. If you think about it, what was one of the promises made, that Abraham was there'd be generations ahead of him. Think about all the things that was promised with generations. There's a lot of responsibility with generations too. If you remember the good old-fashioned type of church services, everybody says, oh, I remember back in the day when we used to do this. Oh, I remember back in the day when God used to come in and move, and boy, that church would be on fire. You remember what I'm saying? How many times have you said it or heard it? You said it yourself. And I know you've heard people say that. I've raised my hand in the back. Well, generations is so important, it's mentioned over 166 times throughout the Bible. The term generations is. Generations is something that we're charged as Christians to enlighten. Why? Well, simple. I'm going to read this right here, and then I'm going to tell you a quick little story. Psalms chapter 45. We're going to jump down to a little section here. It says 3. Great is the Lord, and greatly be praised, and his greatness is unsearchable. One generation shall praise thy works to another, and shall declare thy mighty acts. I will speak the glorious honor of thy majesty and of thy wondrous works. So, let me tell you a little story about a young lady that just got married. And she was looking everywhere in the world to please her new husband, and when it comes to cooking and fixing things and stuff. And she knew her husband really liked sweet tea. I mean, who don't? Sweet tea, it's kind of a staple in life, Air, sweet tea, they kind of go side by side there. It's one of those things that she went and tried every way in the world. She would take and took 2 or 3 tea bags together and try to make the bowl of water and get the tea bags in and stuff. And the husband would take a sip and go, "Oh, it's just a little too strong, honey. It just don't taste right." And she would be, "Okay, I'm gonna do it." And then she would go back and she would get different type of tea, or she would get another tea or two, and she would try a couple less bags or more bags or little tea bags and stuff, and kept on going back to the husband over and over and over, to the point of every time he did, the husband was like, "Oh no, honey, that's not right. Oh honey, that just don't taste right. Honey, something's just not right here." To the fact that one day the husband was sitting there and walked up with the tea bag, and when she fixed the tea, she brought it to him and took a sip and said, "Honey, that is the best tea I've ever had in my life. That is great. That's just like Mama used to make it, or that's just like Mama used to make it, or that's just like whoever Chick-fil-A makes it." It's one of those things that it was perfect. So what she did, she's like, man, I have found what I did. This is the magic tea bags right here. This is the tea bag. Well, to keep getting it right, she thought she had to keep doing the exact same thing. And she kept taking the exact same tea bags and trying to make tea. Well, the first batch was perfect. Second batch it was good, but a little bit less. The third batch that came through was just a little less than that. And then it got to the fact that it was basically stained water, you could say, for the husband. And the husband was confused because he had bragged so much on his wife and said, honey, it was so delicious, that tea was wonderful. How in the world did you go back to it being basically stained water? I don't understand. And confused, she said, I don't know either. I don't understand. I was doing the exact same thing. I was using the exact same tea. The exact same tea bags. But the problem is, as she was using it, there was less tea to be used in every time she did it. It kept weakening down. Well, think about that. How many times do we keep going back doing the same rituals? And don't get me wrong, I love history, and I'm not taking away from that whatsoever. But we keep going back and expecting us to do the same thing without putting anything else in it. See, we have removed, over time, we have removed Jesus from our life. We have, as America and the world, it could be said, we have removed a little bit of Jesus out each time, expecting the same thing to happen. We're not going to get the same sweet tea each time when we keep removing it. The same thing in this world, we keep being confused. I don't understand what's going on. But yet we've pulled Jesus from schools. We've pulled Jesus from any government entities. We've pulled Jesus from anything when it comes to stuff like that. We have removed him from it and expect it to be the same. We expect it to be the same when we remove it from the family. When we have a family, but we don't want to spend time in prayer. When we don't want to spend the bedtime because we'd rather stay up and watch the extra TV show. Or we don't want to take and spend the time teaching our children, the next generation, because we're just so busy. How do we expect our religion to be the old-time religion that we longed and desired for so long? How do we expect it to be the same if we keep removing the tea? We keep removing what it was. The Bible is clear. It states that God was the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow. And he will be. It's not him that's changing. It is us. We need to take this opportunity of the quarantine, like I've been talking about, of the time that God has basically gave us a reset. If you think about it, I seen something the other day online that really made me think. It said, it's amazing. It's like we've had a flashback in time. We're not going out to eat much anymore. You could fill up a car for $25 or $20 in gas, versus the $75 that sometimes comes down the road. We can eat meals together. We can be home with our family more. All these things is like a reset. God has provided us a special opportunity to go back. He has. It says it takes things that are bad, that the devil meant to be bad. So many times those things can be storms, like we talked about before. Can be things that's trials that you've had to go through. It could be even whether it's something to do with a marriage. All those things are in place for him to make something better, to fix it, to fix what's wrong. You don't just throw it away, you fix it. So many times that's the problem. We live in a disposable country. That everything, if something isn't exactly right, instead of trying to fix it, just throw it away. Oh, I've got plenty of money, I'll go buy a new one, or I'll get a new one. My papa told me one time when I was starting to learn about the Great Depression, and I was asking about things. And I remember him telling me one time that he was so poor when he was young, up in the mountains, he didn't even know there was anything about a depression until afterwards, because they grew their own food. They didn't have to go out and buy stuff when it comes to that. They bartered and traded and did stuff like that. Didn't know anything about it. Well, I'm going to tell you something this morning that we need to focus on is the basics. We need to face the basics. What's missing? What's making that religion that you crave so long that you sit back and say, oh, I remember that old time religion. I'm not going to sing, don't worry. But what's changed? What's changed? It's not God. It's the fact that we keep weakening the tea and expecting it to taste the same. I want us to spend some time in prayer. I've asked you before. And now you should have plenty of time. Plenty of time. I've asked for 5 minutes of prayer a day. I've asked for 10 minutes of prayer a day. I might ask for 15 minutes. 15 minutes. Think about that. If you think about what you do for 15 minutes through a day, does anybody drive to work or drive to somewhere if you are still having to work and everything? Then there's maybe 15 minutes that you can pray during the time frame. Are they times that you end up spending time in prayer because you're sitting at home? What about, don't get me wrong, it can be used for good things, but what about the times that you're sitting on Facebook for 15 minutes or hours or 30 minutes or whatever it is? Or online shopping or anything else that you do, watching TV. I promise you there's not a TV show out there that's going to change your life the way prayer is. And if we don't step up and do what we're supposed to do, and we pass on to the next generation a tea bag that is fully charged, a relationship with God that's fully charged, and demonstrating to them what we're supposed to do, is that what you want for the next generation? It's not for me. I want to pass on to my kids something that they know, that full strength relationship with God, that full strength taste of what that wonderful sweet tea can taste like. If you haven't been doing that, or you think you can do it a little better, let's bow our heads. Most gracious Heavenly Father, Lord, I thank you for each and every person that is the sound of my voice, Lord. Lord, I thank you, and I ask you to guide us. God, please, fill us full to the top of our heads, to the soles of our feet with your spirit, your guidance, in everything we go to do. God, I ask you to allow us to have time to take and pass on to our generations, pass on to our children, and have us ourselves. If we have anyone that's craving the relationship, craving the miracles, craving the things that's took place that they've seen, wanting that again, Lord, I ask you to take and open the doors for them to witness. Open the doors for them to crave you, to spend time, Lord, with your word. Spend time in prayer. Lord, I ask you to grant us all the wisdom to know what to do and the strength to be able to do it. And as always, I ask you to open doors for us to witness for you. Give us courage and strength to be able to do it when the time comes. And Lord, I ask you to take and grant us the wisdom and words to say that will reach their hearts. And through all things, I ask your protection upon each and every person, Lord, until we can return together assembled in your name. In Jesus' name we pray.